Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrac and Kelly Kole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 72 with Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole. And today we're talking about what we're working on. So we get a lot of resumes from wannabe interns, and as well as a lot of inquiries from kind people saying they'd love to work with us, which is always such a great compliment. But to be honest, really, I don't think they teach these kids in school the real world stuff, but I guess that's what internships are for. So since people are always curious about what we're busy doing, we thought we'd share what we are up to as 2020 unfolds. And you might not believe it, but we're going to kind of share with you about at least 13 of the projects that are currently on our to-do list. There's a few stragglers out there, but they're almost finished, so we didn't include them.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at this list as we're talking, and
are you getting heart palpitations?
It's making me like very anxious. And sometimes Lisa in office will go, I don't know how you guys do it. How do you keep all this straight?
I don't know.
But honestly, when we're not very busy, I get a little like.
My brain just goes instantly to mush.
Kelly and I are just kind of used to this speed of stuff. So we're working on a few different things. So project number one, this is a really, really great one. It's a multifamily leasing center in Buckhead area of Atlanta. And we worked on this project, sourced everything and specified everything about spring of last year. Presented everything. Everything was a go. We were ready to place orders, and then a moratorium was issued for Buckhead.
Building permits. So everything stopped. So we have all of the items ready to be ordered, everything ready to go. And it's probably going to start to happen here in the next couple of weeks that we're going to be placing orders. So that's going to be a really good one. We'll be sharing that on all of our social media because it's a beautiful, beautiful space. To kind of paint a picture for you. So when we say multifamily, we mean luxury apartment communities. There's tons of them here in Atlanta, as they are all across the United States. And we've done a lot of work for one particular owner that we love working for. And this was a space that was a restaurant. So when we first walked it with the architect and the management team, it was just a concrete shell. And so we were completely working off blueprints, which Joanne and I are kind of touch and feel people. I would much rather see sheetrock up. I can't always get it looking at paper, but this is what it was. So it was a really collaborative effort with them because they wanted that. They have a lot of competition in the area. They wanted this to be super urban, cool, contemporary. We have 3 offices, a conference room that's all in glass. It looks like a kind of a hotel when you walk in.
Yeah.
But probably our biggest accomplishment was they wanted a huge reception area that 2 leasing consultants could actually sit at. So you want to talk about that? Because you really worked on that.
Yeah. So this is, something that has to be custom. And there were a lot of custom things that went into the space. So we found a guy who does this kind of work and is building a 14-foot long reception area. And it's going
Think about that, 14
feet wide.
Yeah.
And then behind that is the beautiful, laminate kind of wave sort of wall. There's a lot of texture and really interesting things about this space. There's something, a wood wall that's kind of...
it's like beautiful wood... Layered, they're not planks, they're squares,
jagged,
and they all fit together, and so the whole wall looks like a beautiful wave, like an ocean came and cut through the wood, because we couldn't just have art everywhere. It was
and
obnoxious.
The lighting is all custom. Really, going to be amazing. Actually, the renderings of it. Maybe we'll put that up on this
Oh, yeah.
on this podcast.
Okay.
So that you can kind of see what that is. So that's just one.
Okay, that's project
That's one.
So
Okay.
we're just waiting for them. So the permit has been lifted. Yay! And now we're back. So since we've lost like 9 months, now we have to go back and just make sure that everything we source is still available in terms of products, fabrics, lighting. Everybody's still alive and well because we worked with so many different people to customize things. And the building permits have been submitted to the city of Atlanta, and I think we have to change a few things just in the bathrooms and some other areas. So we may have to revisit our tile selections and what have you. So we're excited for that to kick off.
Yeah. And then the next multifamily project that we're working on is a leasing center expansion. And this is also in Buckhead. And they are literally knocking down walls, making a package room. This is interesting what's happened with multifamily, and it just kind of shows what's kind of changed. So a lot of these apartment communities had laundry rooms. And now these laundry rooms aren't really serving any purpose because they have these...
They have the units
in each apartment. So what they've had to do basically, and it's worked out very well, is turn these laundry rooms into package rooms because so many people are getting Amazon packages every day. It used to be, years ago, if somebody got a package, FedEx or UPS, they would just
the leasing center would
just kind of hold it. Well, now you've got like a room. You need a room for this. So that's all, being collaborated and adding a little bit to the outdoors. The amenities of these places, they really need to be very attractive because there's like Kelly said, there's a lot of competition in this area. So that's going to be that's another one, working with an architect and coming up with ideas of where things should go and all that. So it isn't really just picking and making them beautiful. There's a lot of information that we can share with them from working on all of these. So we're not just specifying products. We really are giving our thoughts and ideas, and they're really great about listening to us because we've been there, seen it.
Mm-hmm. And this is an interesting one because this particular community is kind of small, but it's super cool. They have all these lofts and these really unique floor plans, and they're wedged in this little corner in Buckhead, Atlanta, and they don't have a ton of amenities. I mean, of course, they have a pool and they have a fitness center, but some of these apartment communities are like, hotel resorts. It's ridiculous how many amenities they have. So we're sitting here and we're thinking, okay, we've got this leasing center space. We can push it out into, there's a beautiful garden space that we don't need all of it. So we're thinking of creating a kind of a co-working space that is attached to the leasing center so that the residents can come and work in a pod and have collaborative meetings and so forth, because so many people are telecommuting now and they want to get out of their apartments and have a space to go to. So we would have, whiteboards and projector screens and all the audio visual. So these are the things that we're working on now for this leasing center. So we are right now in the collaborative creative meeting stage, and I would bet, are they trying to have this done? It'll be done by the end of the year.
Yeah. These things take time.
Yep.
All right. Another multifamily luxury apartment community. This is interesting. This is a small project, but kind of cool.
Complicated, though.
22 floors of elevator lobbies, meaning wallpaper, art, making each floor a little bit different.
This was a tough one because, so we are working on, there's 6 floors that are garage. Let me think about this. There's 1 floor that's garage space, but so we've got some penthouse high rent floors at the top, and then we've got the lobby that has to be wowie gee whiz, and then we've got, I think, floors 7 through 18 or so that are just getting wallpaper. But so each elevator lobby wall, like when you come out of the bank of elevators, you look straight into a wall, but that wall is 22 feet long, wide. So it's like, oh my God, what do? We can't just put, like textured wallpaper on there. It's going to look so boring. So we went to this company, Look Walls, and they are making these beautiful mural. It's vinyl wallpaper. It's commercial, but it looks like agate. It looks like the inside of it agate stone just poured out.
So beautiful.
Yeah. So those don't need art. So then on the penthouse floors, we thought, well, let's do something really special. These are much higher rents. So we chose a Tebow commercial wide wallpaper in navy blue, and we're using local artists from Atlanta a lot of the art is coming from DK Gallery in Marietta to do original, unique art for these 3 floors, and we're doing that for the lobby too. So that was tricky because these, again, competition. They've got to be at the top of their game. These apartment communities. So
project number 4. This one's
going to kick our butt.
This one is a little bit of a challenge. Now we're doing a model, no problem. We could do it with our eyes closed leasing center, no problem. But this particular community has a rooftop above their parking garage. And so it is 2 tennis courts with just like an area in between. So they want to leave 1 tennis court there. But this other area, Cal, how wide would you even, how much?
Oh my gosh. I would say, if that, 60 feet.
Oh God.
More?
Oh yeah. Like probably...
just 2 football fields?
Yeah, like
it just feels massive and overwhelming.
It really feels like a football field.
Yeah.
So one area, they want to make it like a lounging space, hammocks and cool
Cornhole,
lounging spaces.
misters, super cool.
Games, whatever. And then next to that, a dog park.
With a pet spa built in.
So
you can wash your dog, play with your dog.
Yeah, they're even going to have like little... what do you call that when dogs do the agility things
stuff,
and all that? How cool is that?
Yeah.
So completely out of our comfort zone, but we will help them figure it out, and we'll work together on it. And
well, it's just kind of like when one of that private school called us to redo their media center, and we were like, okay, and we just dive in and start researching and collaborating with industry experts, and it all works out, and it's cool. But at first, we're like, oh my god, this is hard.
What's interesting is, as part of this, we want to do kind of like one of those living walls, which are great backdrops for art or for photos and whatever, which is interesting because just last week we were in Napa and we spoke at the Multifamily Social Media Summit, and our talk was on how to make spaces Instagrammable, which is really interesting because this is like we said, the competition. It's mostly young people that rent apartments. And so they want to be able to live in a cool place. And this rooftop thing will be a game changer for this community.
It will. It's going to be so cool. So I think, we've got a few more multifamily, but those are our top 4. So project number 5. So this is a client that we've worked with before. They bought a beautiful new home. It's in Atlanta, over $1 million, just absolutely well done. The builder did a great job. And their furniture, which we see a lot, isn't going to work. This house is more modern. It's bigger. The ceilings are higher, and so their furniture from their old house is just simply not going to look right. So they need a lot of new furniture. But we are challenged with a budget,
a pretty tight budget,
a budget that we would not normally want. Yeah. So it's a fun job. It's a great client. It's something that we can do. It's just really a challenge. Yeah. And it takes like triple the time, literally.
Well, I think what's interesting, and this is kind of where Kelly and I have kind of had to like, all right, let's put ourselves in this position and let's like really think this through, because she had a budget number, which was going to be really tough to do. We put things together and it was going to be very, very close, almost really exactly. That was without the taxes and shipping. And, if you're looking at an out the door number. And so we presented it to her and she said that her budget was absolutely her budget. She couldn't spend a penny more, which sometimes people will give you a budget, but they have a few extra
wiggle
pennies room. And there's a little wiggle room. But she said there absolutely was no wiggle room. So she said, can we do, she didn't use the word a lower quality, but
can we drop the price on the furniture?
And
well, that's code for less quality, cheaper stuff that won't last and isn't. I mean, I just wouldn't put it in a house of that caliber.
Yeah, so it's like you want to honor, what a client is requesting, but you also really have to be, very honest with them. Like,
I just cannot, in good conscience, put crap in your house. I high low all day long. Mm-hmm. Quality and upholstery, and then we can let's have some fun with case goods and accessories from other less expensive places, but it has to be a high-low thing. It can't all be, it's low quality.
It's put us in a really, tough predicament, because I think as professionals, sometimes you have to tell them, the way it is. Mm-hmm. It's just like with anybody that I would hire for something. If somebody came to paint my entire house and, they're saying, well, you should use Sherwin-Williams Duration. And I'll be like, I don't want to spend so much. How can we get that number down? Can we just use a lesser, quality paint?
Well, then you can come back in 3 years and repaint it.
You can, but I wouldn't suggest it. So this is some of the things that we have to deal with. So we'll get it figured out. But that's...
And our recommendation to her, just so y'all know, well, what did they do? We're working it out, but what we always would rather do is have a client do less spaces. We're not just going to say, oh yeah, and grab the money and go. We want to do a good job for our clients, so we would rather do less spaces really well, and then next year or in 6 months or whatever. Or value engineer the other room, and so we can get by for a little bit longer until we can do it right. But we just want to do it right.
Yeah.
So that's project number 5. Oh my gosh, we've got so many more. Oh, I'm getting overwhelmed just talking about what
project
we're
number
doing.
6. It's a kitchen renovation that we just completed. They started it in November, just finished it a couple weeks ago. We worked with an amazing contractor company. ARC, which is Atlanta Remodelers Construction, I believe.
Atlanta Remodeling Company? Oh my gosh, it's ARC.
It's ARC. Anyway, this kitchen was completely gutted. Cabinet Resources did all the cabinetry. We did paneled appliances, which were really pretty. Beautiful lighting, amazing tile. We've got some floating shelves. We've got, the cabinets go to the ceiling, and some of them have glass above it. It's just a really, really awesome space. So we're getting ready to photograph that. And then once we do, we'll post some before and after pictures, because it's really, really a transformation.
One of the very cool parts of this kitchen is on the back end of the kitchen, they had a wall of pantry space, like more pantry space than you've ever seen in your whole life. And it was just
more than
kind
anybody.
of odd. It was just like the builder just didn't know what to do, and so he just threw up cabinets. And it was a really collaborative conversation that we had with the client, because they entertain a lot, they cook a lot, they have a very close knit family, and they had a lot of needs. They wanted a bar, they wanted ice machines. They have 2 dogs, so they wanted to have the dog food in a cabinet, not in the garage. They had a lot of cookbooks, so they wanted a cabinet for the cookbooks. They have got lots of trays and, kitchen mixers and things that needed special cabinetry. So it was just amazing. And the way that we did that spot where all the pantry was, is it's a mix of bar and utility, but there's these 3 massive floating shelves that connect 2 pieces of the
upper cabinetry.
Cabinetry. And so our client pulled out all this sterling silver that she had from her grandmother that she had never had a place to use, and she polished it all up. And so we're going back to finish stylizing those 3 shelves, and I cannot wait to mix like cutting boards and cool with things silver. With all of her silver, and it's going to look, that photo shoot is going to be so awesome. So I think we are shooting that on March 3rd, I think, right?
Yes. All right. Oh, now we've talked to you about the party barn.
Yes.
And
I think the party barn is like famous.
It's so cool.
Go on our Instagram and look at the rendering. You can't miss it. It's the one with all the guitars.
Well, we're sitting there in front of those guitars.
Yeah.
Remember? Yes. Yeah. So this was really a fun install. The homeowners are just really, really fun people. Love to entertain. It's a music, lounging, kitchen kind of really just fun, and so colorful. And
our client is a retired professional race car driver, and they're still super duper involved with the race car industry, because he now builds the chassis for race cars, and he's one of only 3 companies in the country that do it, and he does it on a really high-end level. But he's so creative. He's got this it's kind of like when our accountant was in a band,
Yeah.
Like he's got this super creative edge to him, and he just built this party barn in his backyard. And we just really helped him pull it all together and furnish it. And again, collaborated with him and joined his creative journey. And that was super fun. So I'm so excited to photograph this.
Oh, yeah.
So
some cool lighting too.
Yeah, really cool.
Carol by Design is a company that does really rustic, really like those. What are those lights that are there? I've never seen.
They're like massive Edison bulbs.
Edison bulbs, but
mounted
that
with
are
ropes
huge.
on custom wood backings. But right now, what we're trying to do is figure out. We've got a few blank walls, and he wanted to do album covers all over these walls, which would be fantastic. But if he doesn't have it done in time, I think we're going to go over to DK Gallery Marietta and borrow some fantastic, cool art and use that for the shoot.
Yep.
So that's coming up after the kitchen one.
Yeah.
So then after that, we have
McDonough. Like in our
right, project number 8.
Yes, this is in a part of Georgia called McDonough, Georgia, which is
far away.
Yeah, it's
an hour.
It's about an hour, but
so.
it's one of those traffic nightmare places. I think.
Welcome to our world.
It takes forever, but the clients are really awesome. We've worked with them for years, and we are going back to do a family room, kitchen, and living room, and we will install that next week.
They're such a great family, and we're so excited to do this. Their house is so beautiful. It's literally out in the country, and it's just their private oasis. So we did work for them. How long? 10 years ago.
First time we I think their daughters were like 8 and 6 now, and so here we go back a couple of months ago. And the one's going to prom, and they're like these beautiful like women now.
Oh my gosh,
this can't be
stand
them.
it. I know.
So that's always fun to go back and work for people years later. And
the one project that's really hanging over our head, and it's our number one priority right now, is another multifamily clubhouse that is at Lake Lanier. And we're so excited because we've been working with this community for 4 years, and they've wanted to do this clubhouse and finally got the funding. And it's like a big, huge, it looks like a ski lodge. Yeah. It's just wide open, and it's rustic with high ceilings. And so we're really excited to design that in a really unique way. And it's fun to have kind of not a theme, but like, have Lake Lanier as the inspiration.
Yeah, kind of like rustic elegance.
Yes.
Sort of.
Blackberry Farmish.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So aside from all these projects, I mean, we still have a business that we need to, keep going. So all about our new branding, and we've worked on that for about 6 months, and so that's been like a little learning curve. And
our website is out, and it's beautiful.
Yep. And we've gotten our business cards because we had to go to that event last week in Napa, and we needed to give out our new business cards. But we still have to work on the other collateral. The
note cards, stationery, stickers, gift bags,
letterhead, envelopes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of course, I think we need a few tote bags and some pens, and
we need all that cool
kind
stuff.
of designing all that, and working with our graphic designer on that.
Yeah. I have a question for all of you. We don't usually ask you guys for much input, but now that I'm thinking about it, because we were just talking about this, whenever we go to events and there's maybe a swag bag involved or something like that, I feel like I've got water bottles coming out the wazoo. What if you were a client, or if you were to get some type of gift or whatever that someone, has their logo on, what would you like? What would you use? Because I get a lot of these things, but I don't really use them.
Yeah.
So if you can help us out, and if you can go to podcast at kandrac-kole.com, we would love for you to give us some ideas from people out there.
Definitely. So beyond that, we have a few things just to let you know real quickly as we wrap up. One, if you live in Atlanta, do not miss the Trinity School's Spotlight on Art, which is next, it is
the 27th.
It is next week, the week of January
27th.
And this is an amazing collection of art that is brought to the Trinity School. They raise over $1 million for their school through this event. And it's every art. I mean, I would never miss this event. It's my most favorite one of the year. Hundreds of artists, hundreds of pieces of art, small, large, and everything in between.
All different price points. There's jewelry. So on Monday, the 27th, is a preview for interior designers. and media, and that's from 4 to 6. And then the next days are, you'll have to look on our Facebook page or go to Trinity's Spotlight on Art, and you'll see the different times. It's free admission, it's free parking. They bring in new art every single day. It's constantly moving.
Yeah. So we're ambassadors for it, bringing attention to it as designers, because we are such big fans and we really do support the arts, because our designs wouldn't be anything without them.
Yeah, I think people come from all over the Southeast to come to this.
Yep.
Then, as if we didn't have enough going on, we are going to be High Point Market Insider Tour Guides. And this is in collaboration with Esteem Media. I think there's 4 or 5 interior designers that recruit. I think we can have up to 15 people to come to High Point and spend the day with us, who have either never been to High Point or who have not been to the last 4 markets. So the
High Point Market registration.
Registration is not until the end of January. And then from there, we'll be sending out all the information on this. But you'll get to spend the day with us going to different
we're going to curate our own tour.
Yeah.
So there's, like Joanne said, there's 5 designers. We were chosen to be one of them. And we will curate our own tour and pick the showrooms that we want to go to, where we want to have lunch. It'll be so fun.
Yeah.
It's not scary. It's just us. So if you've never been to High Point, or like she said, you haven't been in a while, come and join us. You can't sign up until High Point market registration opens. So, but we'll be blasting it all over social media. But we just wanted to put a tickle out there for it.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that we're working on as we wrap up is, we are, as you all know, our big philanthropy is Guatemala, and we support Catalyst Resources International, CRI, and their mission trips, and also their work with several orphanages. So we are going in June, the 8th through the 14th, as we do every year. We will be building a home and going to love and hug on babies and bring them things that they need. So that's on our plate too. And right now we've got a great group of interior designer women that are joining us. So you'll see lots of that on our social media. So, well, how's that for a plate of work? I mean, and we didn't even tell you everything. So
yeah, we'll just give you the highlights.
Yeah, just a few things.
Just how we roll.
Yes, how we roll. All right. So this is a funny quote that follows up on today. Okay, the therapist. So, how do you relieve stress? Me. I press add to cart. Therapist. No. That would be me. Press add to cart. Of course. That's what I do.
That'll relieve the stress.
Yeah.
Okay. Serious quote. She silently stepped out of the race she never wanted to be in, found her own lane, and proceeded to win. And that's from Hoda
Copies.
Copy.
She's, Hoda Copy.
Copy. It sounds like COPY, but it's KOTB from her Instagram. And she's got some really great quotes on her Instagram.
She does.
But yeah, it's funny. We all live in a very kind of world where you can see what everybody else is always doing. And we find sometimes if we get guilty of that, we just have to say, hey, stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
You do you.
You do you. Get out of the race if it's not for you. Stay in your own lane.
Yep.
And then you'll win. Yeah. So we are off now. We have to go and race to a multifamily community to go measure the model so we can get ready to design it. So it has been lovely chatting with you all. Mm-hmm. And thank you for listening. We really appreciate it.
And please send us your information on what you think we should have as a little giveaway.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear.
Okay.
Thanks,
have
everybody.
A great day. Thanks.
Bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrac Kole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrac-kole.com for more information.